Congratulations, you have made it to week 7, our final week. This week is a short week, so it's very important that you're able to do your final sort of immediately. So don't procrastinate. Go ahead and post it as soon as possible so you can get a peer review. Give a peer review as soon as possible, and then turn it around for a final draft and turn it in. You also have your last 2 Facebook blueprints this week, Blueprint 9, Blueprint 10, and that will help you just sort of get past traditional publishing. You know, you're going to go into communicating with customers and sort of how to fast track if you're a small or mid-sized business. So I wanted this week really drill down on your final social media campaign presentation. So this is your final, and it will be an 8 to 10 minute presentation. And you want to share with the class what you've planned. So in the week 2 or week 3, we did the strategy. And so you want to share briefly what your strategy was. But more importantly, you want to talk about how your plans changed midstream or unexpected surprises that happened along the way. Typically, a strategy is well-intentioned. And, you know, when we first start putting together a strategy, you might think it's good to go, but then when you start implementation, things typically change. So we want to hear about what happened along the way and how you might change the strategy or adapt the strategy based on some of the assignments that you completed throughout this course. And so you can create either a PowerPoint presentation with detailed talking points in the notes area, or you can create an audio and video recording where you're speaking into a camera like we are now, or speaking while presenting a PowerPoint. So in that case, you'd have a screen capture, and then everybody would hear your voice. You know, you'll also need to prepare in writing a typed introduction and conclusion paragraph. And this will really prepare someone, even a peer in the peer review section. It will prepare them for what they're about to open and about to see. And then afterwards, it will help them sort of summarize what they just saw in the presentation, just so that they can understand what's happened in your approach and sort of tie a bow on it. You should be using 2 external resources, and you want to cite them in APA style. So if you choose to do a PowerPoint presentation with detailed notes, the final page of your PowerPoint presentation should have the 2 resources that you've cited, and they should be listed in APA style. And you can use our textbook. You can also use articles from the internet, even if I've listed them as a resource. If they're relevant to what you're talking about in your presentation, you should absolutely maybe take an excerpt and use them as a citation. Just be sure you have 2 and you've got them listed. And if you're doing the audio version where it's sort of on your face and you're giving an audio and visual presentation, and in that case, you would want to have your 2 external resources cited just below your introduction and conclusion paragraphs. So that's really important to do. In each case, the citations should really support your approaches, your decisions, or kind of the main points of your presentation. So that's it. I encourage you to really be thorough, to read the entire assignment text and look closely at the rubric really before starting your final. So I hope you've done that if you've already gotten started, but it's all been there really from week 1. But it's really important that you look at the rubric and you're hitting each point. So here are a couple of tips I'll give you. If you're doing a screen recording like I use for these types of things, you should just use free software. So one of the free software things I use is called QuickTime Player, and it's a standard thing where it can either record your screen. So if you're doing a PowerPoint presentation with audio, it would do that for you, or you can choose to do it as a movie, which is what I'm doing right now. So you see my face and you also hear my voice. That's one tip. If there are plenty of other platforms, and I don't really care which one you use. And if you're having any trouble with this, I really encourage you to talk to the Bellevue College Media Center. And that's within the library. They've got the Media Center there. So if you're having trouble at all, go ahead and go to them first, and they can help you get it done. So prepare what you need to prepare, but then go to them if you need additional help. And, just it just doesn't have to be too fancy, okay? So, you can just use a standard, typically these microphones that come with your cell phones these days, that's just great, So don't worry about, the technical components. Really worry about what you're presenting so that it can be very, very compelling, whether that's a great looking PowerPoint or your talking points are really spot on and you're working us through something like this in a presentation style like we're doing now. Okay, so you've got options. And then another really important tip is that you don't go over your time. So practice presenting it and timing yourself. So if you're doing a PowerPoint, same thing, just verbally go through it as if somebody was looking at it and reading it, and really make sure that you're on time. And if you're going to be doing a presentation such as this, or even with a screen capture and your voice, absolutely make sure your timing is on point. You get points deducted if you're too short and if you're too long. So really important you're on time. Okay, final tip, do the first draft as quickly as possible and submit it for your discussion so that you can receive peer reviews. And when you submit it for discussion for a peer review, go ahead and add your intro and conclusion right there. So people can see what you're planning, they can click on it, they can get an experience, and they can get back to you. Their feedback will really help you finalize what you're turning in. Because in this type of assignment, it's very easy to have blind spots. Oh, I forgot this, or I forgot this, or that's a good idea. So really use your peers for peer review, and as soon as you can, give someone else a peer review. And if you haven't started yet, and that's okay, maybe look at a couple of others to inspire yourself and give them peer reviews. So we're really helping each other here, and I encourage you to go ahead and get that first draft out as quickly as possible and submit it. So everything is due by midnight, August 16th. Now, if you, for some reason, have not received a peer review by August 15th, I will look at it and give you a couple of tips, and you can turn it around the next day. But I really encourage you to get it in as soon as possible so that your peers can really give you high quality feedback. Okay, no matter what, it's all due by August 16th because I got to turn in your grades. So that is final week 7, and you guys have been doing such a great job. And I just want to say thank you so much for all of your participation in the discussions. Really, they have been very meaningful discussions, and I hope you're finding some value in this course and have learned a lot over these 7 weeks. So one final thing I have to ask for is the evaluation. Evaluations at Bellevue College are taken very, very seriously. So really sincerely appreciate if you can turn in your evaluation for me. And I hope that the addition of this video has been meaningful. It's a new thing for this type of online course to add video. And so I thought I would give you that, and just let me know in the evaluation if it was meaningful to you. So thank you very much for your time this course. I highly encourage you to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll hopefully see you in another course. In fall, I'm teaching online video and TV strategy. So that will be really great. I'm actually going to bring in a couple of my video production folks that I work on to do actual videos. So that will be really, really neat, and you'll get to see kind of the inside of like how it works in a firm with video people and vendors that you work with. We're going to talk about storyboarding. We're talk about all of it. So that'll be a cool class. If you haven't yet, highly encourage you to go ahead and register for that. I'll be teaching it on campus on Wednesday nights. All right. Thanks again for your time and participation in this course. Hope you found value, and really appreciate getting to know you over the chat feature and discussions.